Hello, my sweet dear magical friends. Welcome, willkommen to your weekly horoscope and taroscope with me, Natalie, spelled Natalee, as we open up the energies of your week ahead using Western astrological interpretation as well as remote viewing with the tarot. If you are here for your weekly tarot reading, your download, I heard a voice saying you have a job to do in the middle of the darkness. So go ahead and use the timestamp below. I will see you over on the other side. For everyone else, let's open up this week ahead. Monday, the 26th of June, I'm calling this day a forced situation. We basically have that quarter moon in Libra happening just as Mercury is at the very end degrees of the actual nth degree of Gemini before they burst through the wall into Cancer season for Mercury. So that is what is primarily bringing about this forced situation. It does not help that you are coming off of a weekend of the Mars-Uranus square. This is the most epic FU universal cosmic permission slip if there ever was one. So as you're rolling into Monday, the situation is just being forced even more to some kind of conclusions, to some kind, maybe not even the conclusion. I'm calling this week seeing in the dark because there's still going to be things to go through. There's still going to be things that are coming up to the surface of our awareness. And it's not going to be until next week that we get the full light of meaning, get even more, clarity. This is still just like a difficult things that we're working with. So, on Monday, the quarter moon in Libra is really putting a focus on the relationships that are deeply supportive of our aims and our goals, and the relationships that are either struggling or they're falling by the wayside, or they have some kind of problem issue, some kind of source that needs more attention, and it needs some kind of healing or some kind of troubleshooting to get it back on track. It's going to be the personal relationships that are going to personify this crisis in action that every first quarter moon waxing, gaining in light quarter moon brings to some kind of, fork in the road. So it's going to be any kind of frustrations or obstacles or challenges in your personal relationships that are going to inform your priorities. So some relationships will need a lot of attention, but not all of them will be worth it for you. Not all of them will be worth it for you to continue pouring your efforts, your resources, your care, and your attention into. And this is where we're needing to thin the crops a little bit. So let's say the new moon a week ago, you were planting some seeds and you're watching them grow. This first quarter moon is when you see which seeds are doing kind of well, which are developing, which are trying to get strong, trying to get a foothold, which are struggling, which are kind of like the problem seeds, or they're a little bit slow developmentally, or there's just something, going on with them. This is when you make the decision of how you're going to redistribute or redeploy your assets, your resources, your care, your attention, your personal energy, everything of who you are, what you think about, who you talk to, the actions that you take. All of our actions are imbued with spiritual energy. So what is the quality of the actions that you're taking for these relationships or in these relationships? You want to, on Monday, take actions and do the things, change your circumstances to act on behalf of that which will get most of your resources. You want to take actions that are going to help the relationships that you want to thrive, or the ones that you want to continue thriving, the ones you want to continue supporting. This can also be a day of, like I said, thinning the crops, where you are taking some things off of your dashboard, taking some relationship burden, drama, heaviness, responsibilities off of your dashboard, off of your plate, and saying, I'm not going to put any more into this. This isn't working for me anymore. This is not a two-way street, whatever your reason is. And it's going to give you more power and oomph and energy to put into the relationships that are really either they're already going well and you want to continue to encourage them to do very well, or you're setting yourself up for the future and you want those relationships to be more of a prominent role for you as the weeks roll on, and you're laying the groundwork for that now. Now, with Mercury at the end of Gemini, that does say that there's going to be an influx of information, a lot more details, maybe receipts, maybe evidence. It's really the day to say what's on your mind. Kind of like every day this week is a day like that. So it's very supportive, very, very supportive. So we're going to be feeling the pressure to say things or to share things or to, reach out and like get something in or get this last piece of information in or something that's really important to us. Then when Mercury does burst through onto the other side of Cancer, when they have entered into the sign of Cancer, this is when the perspective shifts really strongly. You're going from a mutable energy where you were more open-minded. There was an easier time of information and ideas getting in and getting out of our consciousness. But once we get into Mercury and Cancer energy, it's like the walls come down, the barricades come down, and we really, I'm going to say this, don't feel bad for being defensive. Don't feel bad for feeling defensive. Defensiveness is just such a Cancer energy. Like it's just oversensitive, taking things too personally and being super defensive. Like that's, on a very unevolved level, that is like your unevolved Cancer walking around. So, yeah, don't feel bad if you're feeling defensive, because your alert system is just changing mentally. So the things that trigger you mentally are going to be on a very guttural, emotional, instinctual level. On the other hand, don't feel bad if you have an urge to go out and create a new safe place for yourself, or a new hideaway for yourself, or a new cocoon for yourself. This is very much a sign that needs to incubate. Cancer energy is very defensive because we're trying to protect our safe place where we can just relax, where we can incubate from the caterpillar to the butterfly or the moth. You either become a moth and you're awake at night, or you become a butterfly and you're awake during the day, and you just don't know what you're going to get when you crawl into your little cocoon and you turn into slime, and then you just somehow put yourself back together into a wholly, completely different bug. So it's a cardinal energy. So if you feel an urge to create a new sanctuary for yourself, don't judge yourself for it. If you feel super defensive and you're trying to protect your cocoon that you've already made, don't judge yourself so harshly for it. Don't judge other people harshly for either of these feelings either. Even if either of these things threaten someone else in your life, people are going to be feeling so threatened this week, and people are going to be feeling so indignant and so insulted and so disrespected. It is just so melodramatic. Okay. So on Monday, it already started like over the weekend. So Monday just really continues that. So Mercury will go into Cancer later in the day. So most of the day you could be feeling this sense of urgency. The forced situation is coming to a head, and you may feel the pressure to communicate or to set the record straight or to somehow, get something through to somebody else. Is it too late or not? We don't know. Let's move on to Tuesday. Tuesday, the 27th of June, I'm calling it Confronting the Real Issue. The real issue. So there's what we're fighting about over the weekend going into Monday, and then there's the real underlying issue. What is this really about? This is your spine phrase for my Meisner students. Okay, we have the moon in Libra making a sextile over to both Mars and Venus in Leo. That same Libra moon will also oppose Chiron and Aries. So the moon sextile Venus and Mars, that's very confident. That can go a very long way to creating victories for the relationships that are very positive and that are very healthy. And the way you want to do that is to make other people's goals your own goals. So I would say, look at what started to thrive since the 17th of June and give that more attention, because you're going to be able to make those connections. You're going to be able to communicate. You're going to be able to actually get that contact with these people, or to be able to get the messages through. And you don't want to waste that. So you have the access, because, who knows how long the access will last. with the moon opposing Chiron, that is what is bringing this real issue up to the surface of our awareness. Chiron is called the wounded healer. Chiron is this place in all of our charts where we feel very insecure very easily. We have this heightened awareness of our own deficiencies, where we're not good enough, where we don't ever feel like we'll be good enough. And so when the moon comes along to make that opposition in the sign of Libra, no less, it's going to be other people that show us where we are developmentally, and it'll make us feel like our interactions are just showing us how much we suck, or how far along we're not, or how much of a coward we are, how insecure that we are, whatever it is. It's going to be, and this doesn't even have to just be your personal relationships, although of course it's going to be that. It can also be the interactions you have on the road, or with your barista, or even in the interactions that you don't normally put a lot of weight into, could make you really look at yourself and give you that mirror experience, so that you see something about yourself that it's up to you whether you want to continue on in spiritual ignorance, or if you want to do some kind of shadow work and work on it, whatever, it's your choice. But when that happens, you just cannot avoid addressing the wounding. So especially if you are experiencing this in your relationships, you can't avoid that. If it's your spouse that you live with, if it's your business partner that you work along side by side with, whatever it is, you just, the thing is going to come up. The sore spot, the wounding, the original wound, it's going to come up. So the best that you can get out of it is to take the lead in healing it, to take the lead and work to heal the wound and the insecurity that you yourself feel in other people. So if you feel very rejected and abandoned by the world, reaching out and being generous and showing generosity to someone else that is actually in an unfortunate position could, for instance, go a long way into helping to heal that feeling within you, that you can help someone else that feels that same feeling and cause them to experience some form of hope or relief. I know, that's the best that we get out of that. Let's move on. Wednesday, I am calling this day, June the 28th, Masterful Internal Navigation. So I'm calling this entire week Seeing in the Dark, because we still don't have it all yet. We're going to get that moment of illumination at the full moon. And coming off of a weekend of a Mercury-Neptune square, that's just going to linger at the beginning of the week. And by the time you get to Wednesday, because the moon is in Scorpio, that can paint the colors of the world turn black and white. It can really paint a very dark picture from the subjective lens. So on Wednesday, we have the sun in Cancer trining over to Saturn retrograde in the sign of Pisces. We have the moon in Scorpio crossing the south node, no less, trining over to Saturn retrograding in Pisces, and opposing Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. So the sun trining over to Saturn retrograde in Pisces is also what is creating some of the darkness. This is emotional darkness. This is emotional and spiritual dark forest land. We can get really lost in the weeds here. We can get very lost in our own feelings of depression, of low self-esteem, of low self-worth, low self-confidence. We can get really lost in the feelings of lostness, feeling like we're in a void, feeling like we're just twisting in the wind of life, feeling super victimized by whatever. You know, that Sun Saturn, whatever it happens to be, whether you feel very spiritually poor or whether you feel like you have found the golden spiritual nugget of resourcefulness and spiritual confidence within you, you are going to see and embody the truth of your spiritual discipline. So will that be that you have reached the spiritual maturity to surrender to a situation, let something go, let a person go, let an outcome go, whatever? Does it mean that you are going to feel extremely self-sorry for yourself, and it plays out in some kind of relationship with an authority figure for you? Does it mean that you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be very clear though where you stand, and the actions that you take and how you move through the world is going to respond to that. So That's what I'm saying. Like it's going to be very, very subjective. And because Saturn's retrograde, it is touching on things that we should have already learned since March. From March until now, until June the 17th, we've been learning this Saturn and Pisces stuff. So the sun is going to connect us to that, and we're going to get this little checkpoint moment to see how far along we've come in learning about faith, belief, delusion, creativity, relationships, whatever it happens to be, whatever it happens to be. Now, the moon in Scorpio just adds to this. It just adds so much drama. It adds so much, the moon crossing the south node, it's going to feel dark. Like, I know it's summer and everything, but it will feel so dark. It will feel like a little dungeon, and you're either going to love your little crevice in the wall because you're a spider and you're a very healthy eater, you have a great healthy aura, and you love your dark, cold little private crevice of sanctuary, or you're going to feel very dark and alone, and you're going to be afraid of the dark. So this is what I mean. Masterful internal navigation. I feel like you need to be able to see through the dark. You either develop the superpower where you see in the dark, or you just stay very human and you freak out and you panic that you're in the dark. It's like you just have to choose. You're either going to stay human and in the dark, or you're going to go spiritual and you're going to develop your spiritual vision to see in the dark. Okay? So you're going to either have this feeling when the moon crosses the south node of meeting your fear, and that you've mastered your internal navigation, that you are spiritually very powerful, and that it's giving you the vision to see in the dark, or you're going to freak out. The fear is going to overwhelm you. You're going to panic. You're going to be trying to control people. You're going to be lashing out at people. You're going to be trying to control the situation. You're going to be word vomiting. You're going to be love bombing, or you're going to be blowing up people's phones, overdoing the DMs or the text messages, or, it's going to be some kind of compulsive nature that plays itself out on that moon crossing the south node. So whatever, we all pick our poison. So are you going to go for the food and overeat? Are you going to ignore the food and not eat anything? Are you going to go back to your toxic ex? Are you going to, what else? Are you going to be super suspicious and paranoid and never open yourself up to a good person that's right in front of you? Are you going to overspend? Are you going to spend all your money? Are you going to gamble it away? Whatever it happens to be, I feel like, yes, we're at the end of this. We literally have, I think, less than a month between now and when we're given new destinies to start working on with the South Node in Scorpio. But at the same time, how much work have you done since November-ish 2021, January, February 2022 in becoming more confident, becoming more resourceful? The North Node's in Taurus. You're supposed to be more self-sufficient. You're supposed to be more confident, more self-assured. So Wednesday, you get the feedback from the cosmos. You get to see where you are in your spiritual evolution. If you're still super scared and you're clinging to things and you're scattered and you're operating and acting from a place of fear, and all those actions are going to just blow up in your face because all of your actions are imbued with spiritual energy. So if the quality of your spiritual energy is very poor, the outcomes of your physical actions are going to be very poor as well. So also happening on Wednesday, the moon's going to cross the south node. It's also going to trine Saturn, oppose Jupiter. So the trine to Saturn retrograde, there can be rewards, authority, there can be support, there can be position, there can be prestige for you over time if you master this today, Wednesday. That is promised to you. If you do, Saturn's the parking meter maid is gone. You can do whatever you want, and that's the test. That's the test. Will you do the right thing even when no one's watching you to check you? Or are you going to try and get away with something? Because you're not. None of us are. None of us get away with anything, okay? So if you go that way to the spiritual, if you develop your spiritual vision, if you can see in the dark, you'll be fine. You'll be great. You will surrender. You will let things go peacefully, confidently, securely. So you know if you're trying to grip onto something or force something and hang on, clinging to dear life with your cold dead hands, that's not the thing. That's not the right. It's not what you should be wanting. So how do you change what you want? Well, you should, that's been working on you since 2021. So the opposition to Jupiter in Taurus says that we are facing moral dilemmas. This is an issue of morality, right versus wrong, what is healthy versus what is toxic, what is independent and strong and capable versus what is unhealthy codependence and unhealthy toxic attachments. Are you going to be able to see the bigger picture? You're going to get this bigger perspective, but how you respond to that is based on what you don't see things as they are. You see things as you are. You project things out. You project your internal reality out onto your own life. It is never it's never the government. It's never the AMPTP. Guys, oh my God, I really want to talk about the strike, and it's just such an interesting time for performers and artists because of what's going on with the Leo Taurus axis, and this breakup energy that we're in with Mars square Uranus is just, it really epitomizes the moment right now. It really captures the zeitgeist of what's happening on that stage, because it's about like, no, this is what we're worth and this is what we stand for. And if you don't want to respect my boundary, if you don't want to respect my ask, if you've been doing this secretly, if you're trying to get away with something other than, go fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very, very, oh my God. Okay, back to you guys. So the moral dilemmas, will we be able to see the bigger picture? You're going to get the view, but if you don't like it, then you're going to freak out. You're going to be triggered into an unhealthy, compulsive rut. And you go back to your subconscious programming, whatever that happened to be, and you're just going to do that. So if people are uncontrollably compulsive, that's their right. They have a right to do that. We have a right to do that. It's free will. That's the point. Thursday, the 29th of June, I'm calling it disrespect, disrespect. Yeah, I said it. Okay, so we have that same moon in Scorpio squaring over to Venus, opposing Uranus, squaring Mars. So this is the response that you want to the response that you're getting from others if it's disrespect, that you take your ball. And guys, Leo, you cannot embarrass a Leo. If you embarrass a Leo, especially in front of people, especially on the internet, it's over. Like, you pick up your ball and you go play somewhere else. You go home, you just like leave. But likewise, being burned by a Leo or like Leo energy, like I did that. I put myself out just quickly. I put myself out there for, they're not even a Leo sun, moon, rising. They just have like a bunch of Leo placements. And wow, it's not for the faint of heart going after anyone with any Leo placements. It really, really is not. They will make you feel so small and insignificant and worthless and just poor in every sense of the word. And it's like, it's dehumanizing. It like really, really is. So on one hand, we have that wonderful self-respect and self-esteem, but on the other hand, we have that grandiosity, the gaudiness, and the like losing sense of reality type of the grandiose self-image. So this Scorpio moon is really going through it, right? The square to Venus is very uncomfortable. There's very uncomfortable changes happening. People are going to be feeling disrespected. People are going to be feeling insulted. And that's just something about the situation. Like, it is what it is, So be prepared for everyone to air their grievances. Everyone's going to just be insulted. Everyone's going to have their little glove ready to slap somebody else and challenge them to a duel. Everyone's going to be fucking insulted. The opposition to Uranus, that brings something out of nowhere right into our faces. That is just being blindsided by something that we did not see coming, and that we've got to deal with, and that we've got to deal with it from the evolved standpoint. So we're not quite totally used to being that confident. The nodes are still in Taurus and Scorpio, but we're supposed to show it. We're supposed to act like it. We're supposed to know the right thing to do and to be able to do the right thing to do, even if it doesn't feel like the right thing to do, because we're not used to that new subconscious programming yet. And we're trying to train ourselves to get used to it. So that's going to come out of nowhere. The square to Mars in Leo, that's giving me such a Five of Swords energy. I have it written here. Look at, I'm using the pretty paper for this, and I think I'm going to be using the pretty paper for this for my weeklies, like forevermore. If you guys want to send me pretty paper so that I don't ration it, because I'm a Capricorn, you can send them to me on, they're in my Amazon wish list. Oh, I love this. I love good paper. I like to smell it too. Okay. So Thursday just looks really like, feel free to just disrespect. You have standards, uphold your standards. No one cares about your standards more than you care about your standards. Don't expect anyone to help you or defend you. Do it yourself. Advocate for yourself. Don't just know your rights, but use your rights and be insistent upon it, please. The Five of Swords element, I say because it gives a feeling of a lose-lose situation. You might feel like no matter what you do, it's the wrong thing, or no matter what you do, someone ends up hurt, or no matter what you do, someone's going to end up crying. Something triggers this pressure with the moon going through Scorpio on Thursday. It triggers the pressure on us to show and display our own self-respect and or our values, our priorities, what we really care about. So it's almost like, what day is something just going to come to a head, or is it going to keep hitting that like over and over and over again until it finally does climax at the full moon, you know, July 3rd? We'll see. Yeah, let's move on to Friday. Friday the 30th of June, I'm calling it protect and defend. Protect and defend. We have the Sun-Mercury Cazimi. Guys, this is the exterior Cazimi. So this is not starting a new cycle. This is actually giving you a really big moment from the cycle that did start up May the 1st of 2023. Okay, this Cazimi is happening Friday at 9 degrees of Cancer, and you want to look back in your life to around May the 1st, 2023. That's when we had the internal inferior Cazimi with Taurus. It was in Taurus. What was it? 11 degrees. 11 degrees of Taurus. Okay. This was a really big day for you. May the 1st, around May the 1st, 2023. We had the interior conjunction, Mercury with the Sun. But not only that, we had Pluto for the first time in, I think, 248 years, maybe 250 years, entering the sign of Aquarius. Oh my God. That narrative is being brought forward and has been inching forward under the surface, like little buggies under the rocks, since May the 1st. And we couldn't really see it very clearly because Mercury in the heart of the sun, it's the seed that fertilizes the egg in the dark. Okay, the shot in the dark. That was May the 1st. That was your shot in the dark. On this Cazimi, you get to see what happened with that. You get to see, but it's going to further, it's going to continue on that Pluto and Aquarius narrative, and it's going to be revealing and eye-opening, and it's like a very big, like, know where you stand type of an energy. It's the astronaut looking back at Earth is the kind of, because it's the exterior, Mercury's on the opposite side of the sun, so you're going to see things like from the very widest lens possible, like that very big wide perspective. And because it's in the sign of Cancer, I told you before, beware of the crabs in the barrel. Feel your feelings that you need to be defensive, feel the feelings that you need to be protective, feel the feelings that you need to start something new that is more spiritually strong than any of the other things that you started previously. What's got that spiritual juice behind it? What has that really strong, powerful, chemical, electric battery? That's what you're going to see on Friday. And that, my friend, my dear friends, that is what you're going to be really focusing on in July. So, on this day, if you've been waiting to hear back from something around May the 1st, this is the day the mic drops. This is the day that there's some debut, there's an announcement, there's some kind of proclamation. It's that day. And you'll know where you stand. You'll know where something stands. Maybe that started up or around or was expressed May the 1st, 2023. But that's not all, folks. Mercury is also going to trine Saturn retrograde in Pisces. That's more insight and discussions from Tuesday, Wednesday's focus. So that Saturn retrograde in Pisces could have people sitting with like a deep depression of things that they didn't want to learn, that they've been trying to avoid from March until now. It doesn't go away. It's not going away. You're either depressed about it and you just have to keep, sitting with it until you move the energy through, or it's going to give you the voice to actually speak to these things if you have been waiting, or if you haven't been able to, or if you've been really quiet or unsure, so whatever. This is going to help you carry that discussion forward. Oh my God, that Moon in Scorpio is still there. Moon in Scorpio is trining over to Neptune and Pisces. That can be a compassionate release. That can also be a very delusional, willful codependence. That could be falling back into a toxic patterning, or it could be a very deep healing at the very highest level. It's how you use the energy. And when I say it's how you use the energy, that's 5% of your conscious mind trying to use the energy. 95% of your energy is using the cosmos, is using the planets subconsciously. So if you repress your anger, instead of telling your family or your spouse or your boss what you really think over this past weekend on the Mars-Uranus square, if you just repressed it and you ate it, you may attract a violent occurrence on the road and road rage, and someone might bang up your car and you might get out of it, but oh my God, what a scary thing to happen. You will subconsciously attract some kind of violent or negative or hostile experience into your life. If you repressed or suppressed other feelings, then they're going to manifest as health issues, and you're going to wonder, oh my God, why is my health so terrible? It's one thing after another. You're going to feel like a victim of life, a victim of the world. Oh my God. But yet you did not process some feelings that you really needed to process, and you created and manifested with 95% of your power that illness in your body. Only when we take responsibility for the consequences of our actions, the 5% conscious mind that we're using to create our reality, and the 95% of our subconscious power that is being used to create our reality, will we truly be ready and able to actually move forward and go beyond that stuckness. It's like the Hanged Man in the tarot. Man, the querent, the adventurer, the pilgrim on their road to progress has stopped. And now they must only move forward with a conscious awareness of their spiritual power on their spiritual path. Their spirituality now has to be taken into their own hands, and they have to bear the true consequences of their will and do the right thing moving forward. They have to take that responsibility into their own hands. The moon will finally leave Scorpio and ingress into Sagittarius, where they will square Saturn retrograding in Pisces. These are more checkpoints. So this protect and defend energy, that Cancer Cazimi, that's going to make it very clear to you your allegiance your spiritual allegiance, your emotional loyalties. And then when you get that widest lens possible vision, picture, you will feel more empowered to work to defend it, to work and take action imbued with that pure spirituality of what you really believe. And those actions are blessed, blessed actions that contribute to making that a success. Checkpoints. The moon in Sagittarius. Well, ethics, morality, procedures, all these things. There's things we have to do first before we can do other things. That's all that is. So I wouldn't worry about it. There seems to be something coming to a head anyway. And it's just more slowing down to make sure that you do it the right way. Saturday, the 1st of July. Welcome to July, everyone. I'm calling this day processing. We just have the Mercury in Cancer sextiling over to Jupiter in Taurus, which says that we're just thinking and focusing and communicating with that widest lens perspective. It's like if the astronaut's looking at Earth and then having a discussion about Earth, they're not going to talk about petty conflicts between two cousins in Rio de Janeiro. They're going to be talking about, you know, the conservation of the planet. You know, that astronaut's not going to care about the stupid, small, petty, insignificant details. They're going to care about Earth in the cosmos, in the freaking galaxy. So I hope that helps someone. I hope that helps you as you go through this week of what's like truly important. We also have that moon in Sagittarius trining over to Mars and Venus in Leo. I look at this as a wonderful opportunity to tell everyone exactly what you think. That's just the fire sign energy, that beautiful, glorious, you know, fire sign energy. And you know, it's just very encouraging for sharing of ideas, sharing of creativity, sharing of passion, sharing of fun too. So if this goes really well for you, if you've been doing the work and if you've been trying really hard, this could absolutely be a week of breakthroughs for you, where you finally get some good karma returning because you are insistent upon your self-respect, because you are insistent upon your values, because you are insistent upon your spiritual truth and strength, and you have the eyes that can see in the dark. You've developed your spiritual vision. You've developed and have cultivated confidence in your sixth sense, in your intuitional abilities, and it is that which is giving you the strength to move forward in the material realm with confidence. Sunday, July the 2nd, I am calling this day Get Away. I'm calling it Get Away because of the Venus-Uranus, everybody. Venus squares Uranus from Leo to Taurus. Stare at the eyesore. It's going to be something probably really ugly, probably really like disharmonious, but you can't look away. Okay? I'm a Venus conjunct Uranus, and I love, like, growing up, I was exposed to a lot of like I was exposed to a lot of things I should not have been exposed to, and I couldn't look away. Like I couldn't pull my attention and look at something else. Like if there was something fucked up in front of me, I wasn't for some reason like protecting myself from it. Like I would look and you know, like, so it's like there might be some odd fascination Sunday, and it might be something. Even this is like if you go into your partner's phone, you're like, I just have a feeling, right? You go into their phone, and you're right. You're right. But you don't stop there. You keep pulling that thread. And you pull that oh my God. What you thought was just like the head of an ingrown hair has turned into a 10-minute TikTok of an excavation of and you can't look away. I've had the giggles. You cannot look away. You got to stare at this eyesore Because eventually you will. Eventually you will break away. You will swipe up. You will, it'll get overwhelming and you will just have like a pop moment. But there will be something, there'll be something. There'll be something that's like uh, disturbing, disturbing, disturbing. And even if you're coupled, even if things are going well, there's probably still going to be something that's just not something weird, something's a little bit off. So I wouldn't try to do anything particularly different, especially aesthetically and visually. And I would probably lay low and see what you're being given to react to. Although you don't want to react, you want to respond. But this could just be something that happens so fast. So just like the Mars Uranus, it's like the hair trigger adrenal gland. Venus Uranus is like you immediately don't like it. Like me as a Venus Uranus, I'm immediately turned on. I'm immediately turned off. Like I can go very hot and cold. And things can be very striking to me, but I can also be that way for other people. People can immediately love me. People can immediately hate me. It's very sharp, whichever way it goes. There's no middle ground. There's no comfort. There's no ease. This is a jarring energy, and Venus does not want to be jarred. Venus just wants to get what she wants. But Uranus is like, ah, think again. It's like the Jim Carrey of it. The Jim Carrey a little bit, but it might be a little bit disruptive and disturbing. So I would say, if anything, plan for some freedom, plan for some alone time, plan for some, or if your partner says like, I just need to get away alone for a couple days, just say, okay, don't try to rain on their parade or anything. Don't take it personally and all that stuff. Also on Sunday, the Sagittarius moon, wanderlust. Okay? Wherever I may roam, where I lay my head is home. Carved upon my stone, my body lie, but here I roam. Okay, that's like moon and Sagittarius, people. It's trining over to Mars in Leo, and it's squaring over to Neptune and Pisces. So Sagittarius and Pisces are like, I'm going to fix this by leaving. I will solve all my problems by getting away. I need to take a break from this. And then the trine to Mars and Leo is the confidence to do it. Confidence to do it. Yeah, I think I do deserve a break from work. I think I'm going to treat myself. I think I do need to spend a little bit extra money over here. I think I should just turn off my phone for a few hours. That's that Leo energy that's like, yeah, I do deserve this. I did earn this. I have worked very hard for this. I do deserve this respect. So I would say Sunday, just do what you want to do and let other people do what they want to do. The best would be if you have some, I don't know, Sag rising friends that are all the friends that are always down for something crazy, or if you're the stable, secure, consistent type, then call up your friend that's like always down for anything and say, I need to get out of here. I need to break free. I need a little, and then go off and rendezvous. I should have called it rendezvous with them. Because that could really help you. That could help you break out of a rut. That's what this couple weeks are with the Mars, Venus squaring Uranus, getting us out of a rut. When people tell you who they are, believe them. Live your own best life. Let's take a look at your tarot. Your download, you have a job to do. That's what I'm getting. You have a job to do. I don't know what you're going through, but you do have a job to do. That seems to be kind of very important. So there might be political alliances changing. There might be professional alliances changing. There could be romantic alliances changing. At the end of the day, you have a destiny. You have a soul purpose. And that's what your download is to focus on what you're here to do. And you have the Magician. You and I. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. You got something. You got a bigger destiny that you got to think about. That's your responsibility as a unique individual. That's your contract. If you want to back out of your own contract because of some mortal relationship or because some terrestrial human agreement, it's on you. I don't think you're going to. You're showing up extremely powerful. Like you're ready to step into your destiny. Like you're ready to just do what you came here to do. What message am I here to deliver? You got to defend it because not everyone's going to be happy with you. Not everyone's going to agree with you. Not everyone's going to have the vision for your life that you do. They're just going to have the vision for your life that they want for you. So you will need to defend it. Ooh, thank you. Oh, I don't know who this is. This is Daddy over here. This is Daddy's home, the big boss. Or a bossy person. This is almost like you're proving something to someone. It's like you're proving, this is like the son proving a life decision to their father, who is very powerful, very resourceful, who feels like they know best for their son. And the son saying, well, I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to pack up my car. I'm going to drive west. I'm going to go to Hollywood and I'm going to try to be a ventriloquist, whatever, you know. And then the father going, you know, you're going to ruin your life. And there's no such thing as being a ventriloquist and you're stupid and blah, 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 you know. Let's keep going. What a message. Thank you. Oh, there was another one. Hold on. It's the, and it is the Seven of Cups. Okay. So this is another person, another masculine energy, by the way. Masculine energy that has options in front of them. They have some options and they are weighing the options. They are considering them all. They all look tasty. They all look very nice. But which one will they choose? We're going to open that up. Last energy for my people. I'm getting the Nightmare Before Christmas. I love that movie. But okay, I'm not going to take this entire thing because it's a stack, but we are going to take the top card, which is the Chariot. And then that makes the bottom of the deck Temperance, Six of Cups, and the Six of Swords. So overall, you've got to bring balance and moderation to a situation from the past or a relationship from the past. There needs to be some kind of healing and maybe even some sobriety involved. Sobriety in terms of emotional sobriety as well. So this is a week there could be so much back and forth emotionally and maybe even necessary. You might have to take things to the extreme for someone to understand you. You may have to be melodramatic to make your point. Tell me more about the Magician, please. You have the Moon, and you have these other poppers. And you have double Daddy-o here. You've got the Moon, the Emperor, and the Page of Swords. Yeah, this is definitely like the father and son arguing about what the son's going to do with their life, like their life direction and stuff. Okay, so whatever you would be prepared for you to be the only one that believes in your vision this week, and no one else has to believe it because you got a job to do. You got a job to do. And if you do that job, let the spiritual vision, seeing in the dark, let the other side work for you. Let the other side make maneuvers behind the scenes and in the dark. That's their job. You have ancestors. You have people that you've known in this life that have crossed over, including your pets that have passed. You have your higher self, which is you from the future, that higher self is you after you've finished learning everything you need to learn spiritually through all of your incarnations, the incarnational matrix, the incarnational cycle. You've gotten out of it and learned everything. That's your higher self, the perfect you. You've got your higher self. You have your spirit guides. Okay, you have like your higher self's like your primary care physician for your life. If you incarnated here to learn how to be more creative, for instance, you have a spirit guide for that. That's a spirit guide. It could be someone that's passed on. It could be someone you've never even met in this lifetime, but it could be someone that's passed on, that's another human that's part of your soul family that maybe you did not know here. Maybe it's someone that you actually connect to from history. It could be anyone. They are here to help you learn and use your creativity. They're going to give you experiences, synchronicities. They're going to introduce you to people, put people in your path to help you become more creative. You have a spirit guide for that. Let's say you came here to work on intimacy and trust issues. You have a spirit guide for that. You have all of your spirit guides. You have an entire team on the other side helping you do what you came here to do. All you have to do is use it. That's all you have to do. Again, the moon is darkness. The moon just reflects the light of the sun. So this entire card, what I talk about in the pictogram, you have the domesticated dog on one side and the feral wild wolf, representing our undomesticated characters on the other side. There's the human instinctual, we're a product of epigenetic memories and it's in our blood, trauma's in our DNA, we're very human, we have instincts. And then we have that we're a spiritual divine being driving this meat suit. And which is going to win out? You have to develop that vision in the dark for that spiritual you to win and really drive this meat suit. The moon says that you're in a dark place where you need to use your spiritual vision to see and make decisions, as opposed to that human version of you that cannot see in the dark. There's a test of integrity here. There might even be something of a challenge, especially a challenge to authority. Like maybe the sun says, well, Dad, you went out to LA in the 70s when you were a young man, didn't you? Didn't you want to be in advertising? Didn't you go because you had a friend who was an ad exec and you wanted to make a career out of it before you XYZ and came back home to wherever the fuck? That challenge to that authority, there's some kind of something. So both of you are going to be in the dark. But you just need to worry about your side of the street and hold on to your spiritual vision. Let's take a look at the Seven of Wands. Thank you. Speaking of which, I was talking about the Hanged Man in this video with the strength energy. So, again, the Hanged Man. You must now take responsibility for your own spiritual development and make the right choices. So if that means going slower, so be it. If that means taking a break until you intuit your epiphanal moment, your aha moment, then so be it. We talked about strength too. The human instinct is represented as the lion. Our basic human instinct, we have hormones, we have estrogen cycles and testosterone cycles. We have we are very human. But then we have the woman is represented by our spiritual divine selves, taming the lion. So that could be anything from ego to self-esteem, whatever it happens to be. This will be a spiritual test. This week for you will test your spiritual faith, your spiritual confidence of what you honestly and truly believe you are here to do. That job, what job are you here to really do? And are you able to do it? And are you ready to defend it? Are you ready to protect that job? Are you ready to protect your soul's purpose. Let's take a look at this big boss, this Emperor. Six of Pentacles with the Ace of Wands. It works. I don't know if you do some kind of Braveheart speech or something, but it works. It works. They will be generous. They will be trusting. They may actually even put money into something, into an entrepreneurial, and this would be like the father says, all right, fine. Here's $1,000. Let me know where you end up, where you are, and drop me a line, in a couple of weeks. Let's check back in and see how you're doing. It's kind of like that with this Ace of Wands. There's this new impetus. There's this new, you're just like pulsing. This person, this Emperor, this authority figure, someone here is pulsing with a new focus. So whatever you do or say, it does affect them. You're both in the dark thinking about it. And as they have time to think about it, as they're sitting with it, it makes sense. You do put it together with the strength of your words and the cleverness, or maybe you have the right anecdote, the right story to tell. Let yourself be guided by your spiritual vision that can see in the dark to the right words, the right way to say things to the right people. Because it does work. And they're going to be excited. This is very heroic, very masculine, very strong energy, a very strong beginning. So it won't be as much of a begrudging thing as much as it will be, all right, you convinced me and now I can get excited about this. But it will go through that like unsure, sort of doubtingness. But if someone's doubting you, it's just because you're doubting yourself. So you muster up all of your spiritual courage, everything that you know about your life path, your life purpose, the job that you are here to do, and you let that conviction be what comes through in what you say. And they will feel that. They will get that. So that even if they don't believe you, they believe that you believe you. And that speaks very loudly. Let's take a look at the King of Wands and the Seven of Cups. Thank you. Eight of Pentacles. I love this energy. This is quality work. This is putting in the quality, putting in the time, the blood, sweat, and tears to make a quality piece of work here. Okay. So what I love, there's like a third person here. There's like somebody over here. They have a lot of options. They have a lot of choices. They have a lot of flattery. Okay. But they will choose the best work. They'll choose the best quality. They'll choose, this is like an actor getting a bunch of scripts and reading the scripts and going, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. But then, but I want to do this one because this one's written the best. Or this one is the best. It's just, it's going to be the best. This is the highest quality. Or this is the most, whatever, the most interesting, the most whatever for this person. So there will be something that stands out very, very strong to someone that has already a lot of options. And it's going to be quality. Last but not least, let's take a look at the Chariot. This is energy of success and victory, especially in terms of competition. Thank you. The Eight of Wands. I like this. This is swift, fast victory. You get to move forward on your plans. You get to proceed. You get the green light to go, and you just get rocking and rolling. The situation could move quite quickly. Okay, last but not, did I say that already? I think I did say last but not least, maybe. Last but not least, let's get your guidance for this week ahead. For you have a job to do. Anything else they need to know from the Moonology Oracle? Thank you. Bottom of the deck, step out of your comfort zone. So yeah, a lot of this could be very much out of many people's comfort zones. This is definitely a week where everyone's gonna be out of that comfort zone, especially like I said, because of that Mercury Cazimi that's gonna take you back to May 1st, which takes us back to Pluto and Aquarius, which no one's really used to yet. The answers you need are coming. So again, you may have that audience with that higher up or that authority, or with your father figure, or with like whomever, a best friend, whatever, the spouse. You just need to develop your spiritual night vision, Batman, see through the dark, and then hold that energy, hold your conviction in your body, and then the actions you take will be imbued with that conviction, and you'll be right as rain. I love you very much. Take very good care. Until next time, my lovelies, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful pets, darlings.